Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the A-Team. This time we are on air, and thanks for joining us tonight after a great win versus Montana State. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Kubota of South Dakota, Culver's of Brookings and Watertown, and as always, Jackrabbit Central, who hooked us up with some great blackout gear this week. Matt, how you doing? I see you wearing
life's
the
good.
Packers jersey there.
Yeah, repping my
Tucker
Kraft jersey.
You know what? I think they should have played him because there was at least one play where he would have got a touchdown, and that other guy looked like a bozo.
Yeah, Musgrave flattened his route there, right?
So, yeah, he looked lost most of the game. But hey, this isn't a Packers podcast, so we will stop there.
Hey, but who's in first in the division and who's last, Chad? Right?
Well, I mean, it's not many games, but yes. And
the Bears still suck. So.
And the Bears still suck. Yeah, I had a coworker that sent out a message. It's like, Jordan Love looked really good. And I was like, I didn't respond, but I want to say, temper that a bit. He looked pretty good. On third down, he looked excellent. The other downs, I mean, there's still some room to improve. Kind of like, us this last weekend. Yeah. We won. We looked good, but there's some room for improvement.
Yeah. Hey, you know who doesn't have room for improvement? My buddy Tim, who keeps winning the Beef Bowl beef cook-off.
Not
one
again?
time, not 2 times, not 3 times, 4-time winner of the Beef Bowl cook-off the last 4 years. Tim Goldhammer, you are now banned from participating in the Beef Bowl cook-off.
I thought I heard he was a mercenary.
He was
for hire this.
Yeah, yep. He cooked for the Hereford Association, not our tailgating spot. So
and
a mercenary and won.
Yep. That feels pretty dirty.
I agree. So, yeah. But no, first got to say thank you, right, to our friends at Kubota, dealers of South Dakota. Again, had some little work to do around my property this last week. Fired up my subcompact tractor and got the work done. And I don't know. I love having it. It's super handy. If you do own an acreage, honestly, I feel like it's a must-have at this point. I don't know if I could go back to life without it. So if you're in the market for that, there's a bunch of dealers, 6 dealers in South Dakota, all across the state, really, that can hook you up. So Kubota Dealers of South Dakota. Thank you, John, for your sponsorship. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always great to have John talking to during the week and so forth. He's got some good insights. So thanks, John. We appreciate everything you bring.
Yeah, and the good work he's doing at Club 32 at tailgating too. So
if you guys aren't aware of what Club 32 is, go check it out. They take donations and that goes to a really good cause. So let's see, the Rev, he came up and had some tasty beverages with us and enjoyed himself, and he's not going to make it because he's on another podcast, but just wanted to shout him out for all the extra that he brought to the game and the pregame activities. Mm-hmm. He donated quite a bit of beer. We ended up giving away 2 cases of beer. So,
wow.
The tall boys of the ears up. So, thanks to Rev for that and everything else that he did for us. He's now I think he's a full-fledged SDSU Jackrabbit fan, not just a Jacks fan.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on the bandwagon.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of fans, right, and tailgating and, people from all over, a huge shout out to our fans for yesterday. Tailgating, incredible, right? All across. Library lot was starting to fill up at noon. Gates weren't supposed to open until 1, but that sucker was filling up as I was driving around waiting to get in the backyard. The student section, I tweeted out a picture. 55 minutes before the game?
Yep.
And it was full, roughly maybe a couple spots up in the corners. And that continued to fill throughout. That was bonkers. And then the rest of the crowd started a little slow. We can talk about that later, but that really, really filled up. So, Chad, tailgating for you guys over there at the library lot. What do you got to say about it?
Man, it just gets better every time, other than the fact that people are starting to steal my parking spot. And we got to have a little discussion about that. But no, Brendan saved the spot for me. It's a great atmosphere over there. Obviously, we go by Jackrabbit Book Club, which is sort of a double entendre because of how we started and where we were by the library, right? So check us out on Google Maps. Give us a review. The pudding shots went really fast. There was people complaining because they didn't get any. Hey, man, you're going to have to come a little earlier at the pudding shots if you want them.
Yeah.
Somebody gave me a new nickname. I was struggling to remember it earlier today. It just hit me. Somebody said, "Are you the pudding shot Jesus?" I fell over. No, it's pudding shot Santa, but thank you, sir.
Chad, I have a serious question. Did you make sure that the hair raisers got some pudding shots? We wouldn't want them to whine about not getting any.
I did talk to him
Eric
about
and
that.
Phil. Did they? Yeah.
Phil, I talked to Phil and he said, "Thanks for pointing that out. It's going to be a running bit now." Yeah. He said it was more of a. Did they talk to you about it at all?
No, not at all. No.
Phil said, "Oh, that's more of a on us for not going and finding the food." That's how that should be taken.
So okay. Well, I hope that they got some pudding shots, or else they're going to be whining about it on their episode they're recording tonight.
I always make sure they get some. Yeah, it's good to see Dallas is with us up in the friendly skies. Seth Meyer's on saying the students were amazing for both games. Couldn't agree more. I hope the students continue to show out. Hey guys, we could do this in a November playoff game. Just throwing that out there. Might be a little bit colder. Have a couple more before you go in, and you'll be a little warmer. Pack some hand warmers in your toes and in your feet, or in your yeah. Easy for me to say. Pack them in your shoes and in your mittens. Jesus.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, and I want to talk just quick. Montana State fans. I really like you guys. The fans I talked to before the game, Chad, we had a few that wandered through right away that we gave a pudding shot to and offered some brisket to at your spot, right? And
and championship beers, national champion beers.
Yep, national, and that was pretty cool. It was fun talking to them. Talk to to other fans out in the backyard. Once we got in the stadium, just kind of as we were waiting for the game to start, concession stand line. What a classy fan base, a classy fan group. I know we talk a lot of crap online, whether it's on Facebook or the other FCS message boards that may be out there. And Ron's usually here on this show. But man, I just really enjoyed talking to all those folks. Really good people. And if we are lucky enough to make it back to Frisco this year, I do hope it's against Montana State. It's a good rivalry. I like their fans. And that's a good team, right? We can talk about that a little bit later, but that's a good team.
Yeah, it's an excellent team, and the fan base was fun to party with. I think they were a little apprehensive a couple times when I came at them, but I mean, you've seen what I wear, so people get a little bit apprehensive when I approach them.
Funny story about Chad. So I told you last week or the last couple of weeks that I was excited because I'm bringing my son to this game.
Right.
So our kind of a rundown on the day. We went to the bookstore. We went to Culver's, got that peanut butter shake that I tweeted out. And then we finally were able to get in the backyard, parked our car, and then walked over to see the book club. And my son knows who Chad is and has seen the podcast before. So he was excited to see. Yeah, he's been on the podcast. So he was excited to see Chad, excited to see Brennan. And Chad's walking around wearing his big cowboy hat. And my son Miles is like, I want that. And I said, oh, not right now. Like, we'll get you one later someday, thinking no way in hell we're getting you a big cowboy hat. And he goes, no, I want one now. And so, Chad, you were great. You let him wear it. I took some pictures with him in the big hat. He loved it. But Chad's walking away to go over to the Jackulants crew to get some pudding shots. And Miles goes, okay, what's his name again? And I said, that's Chad. And he goes, Chad's my kind of guy. So...
Yeah, but between you telling me that and the look on his face when I said, hey, do you want to wear the hat? And then he's like, really? Like, does he mean it? And then just the smile. You sent that picture out earlier today. Yeah. He loved that. And dude, that's what it's all about. It's awesome.
Yeah. So some more comments here about the crowd. Montana State fan Jim Poppin, good to see you, brother. The ones who stopped by were great. Looking forward to going back to Bozeman. So are we. I think, Chad, we should really try to get tickets to go to that. That'd be awesome.
Oh, I think we're gonna make it like a JI track, and maybe we can all pack into my truck or Brendan's truck, and it could be something really funny.
Yeah. Oh gosh, Gary, been having a fun banter back and forth with a couple Cat fans. Was able to meet up before the game. Really cool guys and very respectful. Yep. Hey, there he is.
There
Tim
he is.
Goldhammer. We were just talking about you. Not sure how long you've been on. So congratulations, buddy.
Maybe next year JI needs to hire him so we can get our name on the Beef Bowl winner list.
Ooh.
Hey.
Ooh.
He was part of our crew. He kind of still is, right?
Well, yeah, he kind of is. I mean, he had a standing article a few years ago. So, all right, Dallas. Yep, Dallas was there. Good. So we ready to actually talk about the game?
Huh? Yeah, let's get in the game a little bit. Matt, what's your takeaways?
My takeaways.
Yeah,
what a game. What a game. What an atmosphere. Two heavyweights slugging it out. First half was ugly, right? We can get into the nitty-gritty of that. Second half, we finally saw some explosive plays from the offense. That was exciting. Definitely some things to definitely some things to clean up, right? And that's the best kind of wins. This was a huge win that you had to have for the rest of the regular season. And instead of making some of the games down the road, if we do have a hiccup, it's not going to be like a second loss, right? It gives a little more wiggle room. We don't want any losses, but it just gives us some wiggle room. So initial thoughts from you, Chad?
Well, it's a tale of two halves, Matt. And, the first half, we looked a lot different. Are you just laughing at Ron's comment? Sorry.
No, but yours, tale of two halves. Yeah.
It's a tale of two halves. And how is it not,
Yep.
We didn't look all that sharp in the first half. I felt like maybe we were just a little bit too cute with some of our play calls, both offensively and defensively. They controlled the line of scrimmage immensely better in the first half than they did in the second half with us. We shored that up, especially when we were on defense. Like you said, the fact that we come away with the W in that kind of environment is awesome. And the fact that we have room for growth is good too. And I think doing the rewatch, there's going to be some things changed. I think the next time we see them, we'll play them different, and that's okay. That's going to be a good thing. It's because we're going to meet them again. That's my thought. We're either going to see them on our side of the bracket, assuming we get there, right? Obviously, we probably will, but if we don't see them on our side of the bracket, that means we're probably going to see them in the national championship, because watching them play firsthand, watching some of the Bison games so far, it's a little too early to tell for sure, but I feel like that's the number 2 team in the country. If we're number 1, they're number 2. That's kind of how I feel about it. And, they can blast me online. I don't care.
Yep. So, some of this is the specifics, right? I think it was either Garrett or Seth Meyer, one of the two, on Facebook, critiqued one of my rants and raves and said maybe I was being a little bit harsh. And one of them was that the Jacks didn't play complementary football on offense, especially. And I just want to get in the specifics of what I've meant on that, not playing complementary football. In the first half, the Jacks ran 6 plays and had the fumble. They had a 3-and-out. They had 6 plays and a punt. And then they had 11 plays at the end of the half that really went nowhere, right? Maybe gained 20, 30 yards on that at the most. Didn't cross midfield until Lamar got blasted, I don't think. So that's what I meant. In the second half, they scored a touchdown on a 7-play drive, a touchdown on a 12-play drive. That's exactly what you want. Those are beautiful. Then they had a 3-and-out, a 3-and-out, and they scored a touchdown in 2 plays. So those were the drive charts. That's just what it is. That's why our defense was absolutely gassed at the end of it. Like they were done. And it was pretty obvious to see as the big boys were running off the field. Montana State was trying to do some, not hurry up. They were having to do hurry up just because the clock was gone. So I just thought like it wasn't complimentary football. It was disjointed. And it kind of, it was just all the offense just wasn't clicking, right? We've all kind of said that. It just wasn't clicking, but that's part of playing a great team. And that's the second part of what Seth or Garrett said, was that it just, it's a great team. And when you go back and forth, that's what it is. So,
when you're playing a great team, they take away the things that you're used to getting, and that gets you off schedule, right? I mean, coaches always talk about being off schedule. Well, they got us off schedule more or less. And, it kind of started with the Mark fumble that wasn't. in my opinion. It wasn't a fumble. That's how they called it, so that's how it ended up, because I don't think they could see it, whether or not it was or not. And that kind of was the first domino to fall, and it kind of got us off schedule, right? Kind of got us off schedule, and we were a little funky after that, and it took us regrouping at halftime before the offense found their rhythm again. You know, there are some other things that we should probably talk about that didn't go very well. Do we want to get into that now, or do you want to talk
let's keep going. Yeah.
So as Scott J. Rust points out, special teams need to be a focus this week. That was a glaring problem. You know, we got a full-time coach there now. Don't know what to say about that, but what did we have? A 60-yard return, a block punt, and what else did we have?
Missed
extra point, which, okay, yeah, I felt like that happens kind of. I mean, he hadn't missed one, right? So that's kind of strange, but the guy had the ball maybe tweaked just a little bit out. I don't know what that was that caused that, but special teams were really a disaster for us this game, and all in all could have cost us the game. Luckily we got away with a win, right? So what's your thoughts on that, Matt?
Oh man, I don't like our punt unit. There's not a lot of beef on that punt unit. I understand you have to have some athletes racing down the field to make the tackle and pin opponents deep, but you have to take care of blocking for the punt first to make sure it goes off without a problem. So I thought that was a little interesting. I noticed the difference of, it looks like 2 personal protectors versus like the 3-man wall that we've had in previous years. That's just a numbers game, right? It just looked a little bit different this year. So I'm not sure if there's maybe an added ability to maybe run some fakes or sneaks off of that in the future. But man, sometimes you got to just go max protect. And I felt like when your punter's standing, at the 10-yard line or wherever he was, that's a situation where maybe you do want to go max protect, because Montana State had been getting close, honestly, on some other ones too. So,
right. And if you go back and watch that punt that got blocked specifically, they brought 3 guys, and, the guy on the right kind of whiffed, and that was the guy that got in there, but he was kind of going for the next guy a little bit, because when you have 2 guys going, you got to pick one, right? And it kind of looked like even the guy on the left missed as well. So like they basically got all 3 guys home. Our 2 shield guys missed blocking altogether. If that guy didn't get it, the other guy was gonna. He just beat the other guy there by a fraction of a second. That was a pretty terrible play all in all. And could have killed all the momentum that we had at that. Well, I mean, it more or less did, but we still managed to sneak it out. So,
got to mention the goal line defense here that Terry's bringing up here. Fireball Santa. So defense saved us some points on the board. Yes. Montana State had a number of plays inside the 10. I should go back and count them. And they did not score. They kept running 6'3", 230-pound Sean Chambers at us, and we kept bouncing them back. So that was great. Obviously, the crowd noise, the students were deafening on that end of the stadium. So that was great to see. A challenge to the defensive line, though, and this is something that I kind of wrote about as well, is they have to just be a little bit better against the run. Montana State had 21 runs of 5+ yards. I looked this up. 21 runs. I counted this out, and 14 of them were in the first half. That's just too much. Like when I was talking about Montana State constantly in the first half being in like 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3, 3rd and 1, that kind of stuff. It's because of all of these long runs between 5 and 9 yards. I think I think it was Garrett said that they had, their longest run of the night was 9 yards, but again, 21 runs between 5 and 9 yards. That's a lot. That's too much. So at the goal line, though, again, Seth, you're right on this. Their unimaginative play calling definitely helped us. Yeah, have they never heard of like a pop pass or anything like that? I mean, I don't know. It seems like something that'd be kind of a natural leak. So
yeah, D Mez was pointing out the goal line stand was the difference. That we saw that in the game before, where Dixie State.
Dixie State.
Utah Tech had done the same thing to Chambers. And D Mez, I think, is a Bobcats fan. He was wondering if I was controlling time clock? No, sir, I was not, especially not in the first half.
Yeah.
Although if I was, it would have went about the same way. So,
yep. Yeah.
yeah.
Time possession was rough. Not a lot of offensive series.
Correct.
Yeah, it was 35-23 to 24-37 on time of possession. So awful. Yep.
Yeah, do we want to get into game balls, or do we want to talk a little bit more about X's and O's on offense and defense?
So on offense, right? Some of the discombobulation. Montana State did bring some blitzes, and that was something a little new, kind of a different wrinkle for this year, at least, and what we saw last year. I don't know if necessarily their front four has that potential. Ron talked about this last week, that he was nervous that they weren't going to be able to get home against us. And they did. They had some nice pressure on Mark quite a bit, flustered him. Obviously, that fumble, was him having to get out and battle through a little bit there. His knee hit it, or his leg hit it, whatever it was. So that was just an interesting piece there. I thought our offensive line maybe could have protected Mark a little bit better, could have picked up some blitzes a little bit better. I don't love emptying the backfield. I think that gives kind of a green light for folks to come blitz. So,
yeah, like Damon says right here, if you remember right, we came out and emptied on 2 different first downs, and then don't think we went empty set in the backfield again. So he states that he thinks Lujan definitely needs to scrap that one. So I tend to agree. It did not seem to go well, at least against this team. So, I mean, this football is a lot about matchups.
Yeah. So we've been negative so far. Let's talk about some of like the positive stuff, some of the good things we saw.
All right. Well, obviously the freshman wide receiver is a positive.
Right on cue, Garrett. Right on cue here.
I think I had a nickname that came to mind, and if it isn't already his nickname, I don't know why not, but he needs to be the wildebeest. Right? Obviously the wildebeest. It's
keeps running there. Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He brushed that tackle off and just, I mean, that kid, and it's like he's got so much natural talent and stuff. He's just using it, and it's like he's like, did I do well, guys? Did I do good? Like,
yeah, right.
But he's just so awesome that he's really going to grow into, I mean, he's already special, obviously, but he's really going to grow into something. And I definitely think that dude's going to play at the next level if he continues, where we think he's going to go.
Yep. Have a few comments about the 3-back set from Randy and Terry. This absolutely the 3-back sets, Angel Lamar and Isaiah to start the game. Cool. Like that's great.
The other real good thing about the 3-back set is we're blocking with 2 running backs. And sometimes when we're blocking with O-line guys, our running backs are a little too fast. I watched that on a play or two when we were pulling our center or our left guard, whatever it was. And I mean, they just run around our tackles and our guards when they're trying to pull.
Yep.
And then those blocks aren't as effective. And whereas when they're with the running backs, those guys are so fast with them that they get the blocks and they hit there the same time, and they can really follow those blocks a little better, I feel like. So I love the 3-back set. That was amazing. We need to do more of it.
Yep. Another positive, I thought our tackling was awesome. The number of times that I brought this up, I guess, in rants and raves, but our safety position, especially filling in the run game. And I think it was Cale Reeder that probably saved a long run, if not a touchdown run on Chambers on one. Tucker Large filled nicely. Kobe Herder. Those 3, like I just thought, man, they were great. And this number of solo tackles they had, just great. So good job to those guys.
Yeah, definitely the solo tackles. There was some great tackling that we had out on the edge with Chambers that saved touchdowns, So other teams don't make those tackles, and that costs them points. And because of our quality sound tackling, we didn't have that happen.
Yep. Savion had a good game. But I'm curious, like, how does Adam Bach, someone with his athleticism and someone with his intelligence at that position, I just wonder how that, would hurt some of these things Montana State was trying to do. And Savion, again, it's not taken away from Savion. He played well, but Bach is a special talent, right, at the position. I think we can say that. So,
yeah, I think he has a few more instincts and gets the ball. His closing speed is just a little faster, and all that. I mean, fractions of a second make a difference. So I think that's where we would see the difference if Bach was out there. But yeah, he had a great game as well. And I did see it look like Jason Freeman went out, I think, after that hit with Tommy Malott where they kind of collided heads. And I did not see him in the game after that. I didn't hear the after show at all, so I don't know if you caught if they said anything about that.
Nope, they didn't talk about Freeman at all on the radio.
Okay,
so.
Well, hopefully he can come back. It might have been precautionary, but I did not see him back out on the field. And he's a difference maker too, so we lost him fairly early on.
Yep. And Graham Spalding played well though, and I saw him in a number of different plays. So
we do got to clean up our personal fouls a little bit. But
so did you see the replay of the Stallbird one?
Oh my gosh, that was the best acting I've ever seen. It was terrible. He kind of got up over him, right? He hung his leg like he was gonna get off of him. He hung his leg there where it wasn't touching him, and then as soon as he touched him, he went, "Oh!" I mean, he would have got a penalty in the NBA for flopping. That's for sure. It was terrible.
It was awful. Like I feel kind of bad. I hadn't seen that replay yet when I wrote Rants and Raves. Feel pretty bad about that one. That the personal foul. That shouldn't have been. Oof, that was bad.
Yeah, that was pretty terrible. There was a lot of great takeaways. I mean, we've talked about the crowd a little bit, but 9 false starts, dude. That other end was so loud. It was intense. And for those of you that don't know, I sit at the north end. So the other end's the student section. Yeah, the students just brought it all game. That was one of the things that I really got excited about because, we've had it in the past where things aren't going our way and we start to sit on our hands, and our fans aren't doing that anymore. They're getting up, they're getting loud on third down when there's still a spark. And sometimes, the fans can be that spark. Hey, if you came to this game and enjoyed yourself because of tailgating, because of the atmosphere, because of the product on the field, and it was your first game, or you don't come to games very often, you need to come back. If we were talking in our chat about the UND game, that thing's probably going to be a sellout. So if you don't have tickets or you got friends that maybe would like to go to a game, drag them to that game. It's going to be the same kind of environment. It's going to be epic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
On the crowd last night actually kind of felt like, in Frost Arena when we were trying to get a big stop on defense or something and the offense or the team just isn't, clicking right away, but the crowd's still just trying to will them to it. That's what it felt like last night. Like the Jackrabbit crowd just trying to will the team to start making some plays a little bit, and the team responded. That's how it felt to me. But I just want to echo kind of what you're saying, Chad. UND is going to sell out. We think NDSU will sell out. We think Hobo Day will sell out. So if you don't have tickets yet, go. And if there's people that in your office or that you at your school that you think may want to go, pick them up some tickets because you'll be able to sell them. I bet there were so many people looking for tickets for Montana State.
Sometimes on our pods we're a little bit critical of game day operations, but I have to give them a hand. Outside of getting out of there, everything went really smoothly. They had all the concessions open. We got through the gate in a timely manner. So kudos to those folks for really picking up the slack and making adjustments since last game. There's still work to be done on the parking thing, but when you got 16,000 some fans leaving, or excuse me, more than that, but
that all stayed till the end, right?
And they all stayed till the end. I was going to say, that's the other thing. When the games go into the bitter end, everybody's trying to leave all at once. When it's, when we're playing, I don't know, whoever else that we're whooping up on, people will leave at third quarter, and that makes a huge difference. But yeah, that was a ton of fun, man.
Yeah, Scott, I agree. Arguably, last night's game may have been the best game day environment at the Dana J since it opened, and I would say the game day game would have been if not for Jabori's injury, because that place was electric from the jump until Jabori got hurt.
Won.
Yeah,
we still almost won.
Yeah. So
we're one play away from a win there, but sometimes that's all. I mean, a lot of times that's all it is. Do you know off the top of your head how long we've been in DJD now?
It's our seventh year, isn't it?
8. This is year 8. Yeah,
Really?
hard to believe, but yeah. And man, it's nice. It's such a nice stadium, and when it's full, oh my gosh. And everybody's making just a little bit of noise. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So I hope
Yeah.
everybody enjoyed it as much as we did. We were just taking it all in. So
Yep. Let's Frederick, let's pull that one up, Chad.
Yep.
Okay. So this is something new we're doing this year. Partnership with our buddy Zach Borg. We're gonna try, friend of the pod. We're gonna try to do it at 11 p.m. This one obviously got wonky, just with everything, the traffic, everything. 11 p.m. There's gonna be a post game show with Brendan maybe and Zach for sure, and it was fun to get Borg's perspective on it. So
I was hoping to hop on and help, but man, I just cashed out. That was a game that just took it all out of me too. So
that's too late for me. Too late for me.
It was pretty late. Yeah, I wouldn't have made it. I would have been falling asleep on screen, and I'm bad enough not paying attention. So
Yeah, yeah, right. All right, let's do game balls quick.
Okay.
And let's do those. So Chad, before on offense, we had guessed, or you had guessed, Wildy, and I had guessed Jackson, and Dallas had guessed Mark. So I think you were probably the closest on that one. I think
I think so. If I had to give a game ball, it was either going to be Wildy, for this game. Like if I'm handing mine out, it's probably Wildy, potentially Isaiah. Or Amar. Amar looked really good. He come out with that long run early in the second half that really provided the spark that we were looking for. Yep. He made some good cuts to make that happen. So,
yep. I gave it to Isaiah in rants and raves, but I don't have a problem giving it to Wildy for that catch and run either. But speaking of that, Isaiah's stiff arm, absolutely.
Dude, that was awesome.
Threw him through the boards. Oh gosh.
I've got video capture of that. I'll be putting on Twitter later tonight. But
hey, great.
Yeah.
Got it. Great. We do have to talk about Graham Goring. I wrote about this right in Rants and Raves. And Chris Kroc, he was on with Kyle. Again, if you like mental performance and psychology and that kind of stuff, listen to Kyle's interview over on the Splitting Hairs podcast with Chris that he did on, I think, Friday night, Thursday night, one of the two. And it was just great. And anyways, it's so much of what he talks about. Graham just totally misplayed the ball. He never saw it. He must have lost it in the lights, something. He wasn't expecting it to go to him and made zero effort to catch the pass. It wasn't an effort thing. He didn't realize the pass was coming. And the ball, Mark threw it perfectly.
even despite getting cut in half.
Yeah. And you could just tell Graham jogging off the field was like, oh, dang. I mean, what a huge – that would have prevented one of the three and outs that I was bitching about earlier. But anyways, the team comes back then after that, and Mark connects with him on a 40-yard pass, similar fly right down the field. Graham makes a wonderful catch, sets up the play for the next play to Wildy, 35-yard catch and run. So just phenomenal, just the next play mentality, of that goldfish memory, whatever it is, for Ted Lasso fans out there. Just phenomenal. Like he could have let that eat at him, that he messed up, missed the ball, but he didn't, and he made the play. So gosh, that was great. Kudos, Graham Goring, if you listen to this, good job.
Yeah, I mean, what else is to be said about that? So
yeah,
I think if we move on, do we want to give a special teams game ball?
Chad, no.
I'm just asking, do we?
No. Okay. No.
Well, no, I thought we had some players that played real well. And,
you can give special teams game ball. I'm not giving one.
Tucker Large had a great individual performance. That's
all right.
That's all I wanted to say.
All right, fair enough. How about defensive game ball? Who are you giving it to?
Well, that was a tough one for me because there was a couple guys that really showed out, but I think I got to go with Daishan. Other than, I mean, I think he would have been even better had he not got hurt or had cramps, whatever it was. Daishan was playing some great ball and supporting the run very well. Go back and watch his tackles. That's I mean,
all right.
Daishan stood off the page to me. How about you?
So that's who I picked was Daishan, right?
Oh.
For last week. No, but my pick in Rants and Raves was the safety group, like I talked about. Their open field tackling was just phenomenal, and kept a lot of those runs that could have been longer to those 5 and 6 yard type of gains. You don't want your safeties making a ton of tackles, but I picked the whole group. How do you pick just one? I was going to pick Cale Reeder, but he threw the shoe. So I couldn't pick him because he threw a shoe. Who throws a shoe?
It was a weird thing. I think it kind of, I don't think he really, obviously he didn't think about it, right? Obviously, but it was one of those things where he like ended up with the guy's shoe and just kind of went, and tossed it. And then probably went, oh, that was stupid. That was the dumbest thing I could have done in that situation. I should have just dropped the shoe, but he just kind of tossed it. It didn't. It's not like he chucked it to the moon, but he gave it a little bit too much of a toss for it to just be, he should have just handed it to the guy.
Yeah,
obviously,
right.
You got to win the response right there, right? That's win the response. Just set the shoe down and walk away.
Yep. Hey, we got Zach in the house with Blue Bloods here. So,
sorry.
So Zach, I hope you had a great time in Brookings, man. Sorry I didn't catch you anyways. I'm not sure. Chad, did you?
Yeah, no, I got a chance to talk to Zach. It was great to see him. He was down on the sidelines taking some video and some pictures. Looked great, man. I think we maybe had a beer together. I'm not going to say he had a beer, but I definitely had a beer and talked to him. I don't think he was drinking. I just don't recall because he was working. So I don't think he was imbibing any alcohol, but
sure.
Yeah, it was great to see him and, Stone and Kevin. Those guys are awesome. I love chopping it up with those guys. They're great in person. If you don't get to catch their show, hit their local radio station, look up FCS Nation Radio, and check it out because they do a good job as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We got to talk to Stan a little bit. Stan also did not want to come have a beer with us, but he was also working, walking around in his black suit all day. Hey Sam, there's the handoff. So, all right, the halfway point handoff. So that was cool, right? Getting to see so many of those folks that we only got to meet in Frisco last year, really. So sounds like this is kind of cool. Sounds like Kevin and Stone got a tour of the facilities, all the athletic facilities, was it with Cell or was it with Stig? I forget.
They definitely got a picture with Stig. I don't know if they were going around.
So, but no, they got a tour.
It was the AD tour, so it might have been with Cell.
Yeah.
Although I didn't see any pictures with Cell, so I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So
it was awesome.
I'm looking forward to their show and just kind of hearing their thoughts on everything this week. Just what it's like to kind of see Brookings and see the facilities. So yeah. All right.
Good.
So the game balls were presented by Culver's of Brookings and Watertown. Again, I got a peanut butter cement mixer, like I said I was going to do, a regular old butter burger with some fries. That's my choice. I love their fries. My son, this is funny. So Miles got chicken strips and fries and annihilated his fries and then didn't have any room for chicken strips. But being the trooper that he is, we put him in the cooler and he ate them cold on the way home. So that was kind of funny. So thank you, Culver's.
Some good cold fries.
No, cold chicken strips. So
I thought it was the fries. My bad.
No, he devoured the fries. So yeah. All right. So again, thank you, Culver's, Brookings and Watertown. Make sure you stop and support those guys. They support us. And we appreciate them, and it's good food. It's good food.
And I know you got the FCS Twitter guy. Remind me his name again.
Stan.
Yeah, Stan. Sorry. He went over there and had a butter burger, and he said, "Oh man, that was great." Yeah, he went over and had a butter burger. Oh, yeah, you didn't. I asked him if he went to lunch with you. He says, "Oh no, he kind of acted like maybe he can't. He's not supposed to be doing that, so I don't know if that's the deal."
Okay.
Yeah, he went and got a big butter burger. Said it was great. He said the fries were pretty good too. I was like, "Oh man, you should have went with onion rings or cheese curds."
Man,
and I asked him, but I don't recall what he said about I don't think he got any custard.
Okay.
So.
I was a little hurt.
Bomb.
I mean, so if those of you that follow me on Twitter, I reached out to Stan after I tweeted that Stan was in Brookings I have to take him to Culver's because I told him I would take him to Culver's. And then he canceled on us. We had it set up to go and he canceled on me. So I still went. He went too, I guess.
He ended up over there. So,
all right.
I mean, the sponsorship paid off. We got a guy to go there and try Culver's, and now he's going to sing their praises. So
hey,
thanks,
there we
Culver's
go.
of Brookings and Watertown. Seth, you're awesome, man.
All right. So Drake, this is the Target Field game, right? So exciting. So that's good. Couple things about Drake. They're 0-2 on the season. They got crushed by UND, and they got beat by Northwestern in Iowa, the NAI Northwestern, this last week in overtime. Northwestern in Iowa is a very good team, right? We do know that for their division, their level.
Yep.
But it's just tough. This is tough with Drake. Most interesting thing, in my opinion, is they have Deion Campbell on their team, who was a former Jackrabbit, former Mankato Maverick, and now on Drake for his 7th year of eligibility. So kind of interesting. Him and Malik were high school teammates, along with Boye Mafe, who is the Gopher, and who's now plays. He's in his 2nd year with the Jets. So kind of cool on that. Excited to see Deion, I guess, and just what he can do. He's a player that we always heard about and was going to be, after Jake and Dallas were gone, Deion was supposed to be the guy. And then Katie merged, and I think Deion must have got hurt. So kind of interesting about that. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of Drake. They can sling the ball. Can't really do a lot else. Their defense isn't great, but they can throw the ball around. They put up almost 200 yards on UND passing the ball. So,
and it looks like notable football alum Ray Gronowski will be wearing Jackrabbit blue and yellow instead of Drake blue. You know, we should probably talk a little bit about the Jack Up the Loop. Mm-hmm. You know, we're gonna have our own party there down at Cowboy Jack's. Everybody should get there early. Drink them dry, guys. That's what I gotta say. They're going to have a lot of Busch Light for us, and we need to hammer it. So, unfortunately, I will not be joining you. So, you know, I'll just get that out of the way. Everybody that listens regularly knows I'm going to be over in Europe, Prague, Pilsen, Munich, and Vienna, maybe even Bratislava. But, yeah, I'd love to see the game. You know, I got up to Target Field this last summer to watch a concert. It's a great venue. They have excellent beer selections in the stadium. So better than most anywhere I've ever been. There's great beer in that town. You know, pick up yourself some Castle Cream Ale at the North Loop liquor store if you want. You know, it's a neighborhood, but it's within a walk. Just do it during daylight, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. All right. So some details on that. Again, we're at Cowboy Jack's. Doors open at 10 a.m. Food is available for order. We're not supplying the food. It's on you to buy it. And people under 21 are allowed in the place until 9 p.m. That's when they kick you out, and that's when they start IDing and all that stuff. So if you're bringing your family and kids, definitely, it's not going to be like the crazy wild nights that we probably all remember after Twins games and stuff like that. So it's going to be a different vibe. But yeah, families are welcome. So let's have fun.
It's got a great atmosphere. It has a rooftop bar as well. So the JFPA is going to be there too. So we'll get to chop it up with those folks. You know, they're great people. You can talk to them about the excellent helmets. We haven't talked much about the team's threads, bud. Let's talk about that. Ooh. How great did those helmets look with the yellow and black striping and so forth that we had from before, Matt?
See, I loved the helmets.
I think they're great.
I feel like a lot of people were dogging them and saying they're like mid. How does the kids say?
Yeah, mid. Yeah. Some guys wanted a ghost Jackrabbit on the side. I don't know about all that. I think the yellow and blue black combo looks sharp.
Yeah,
I think they did it right.
Like in person, they looked great. The pictures, I mean, the still photography that I've seen, I think those those look so sharp. And then the video clips that I've seen looked pretty clean and crisp. I don't know. I liked it.
Looks like the Bulldog thinks helmets are 10 out of 10. David, thanks for having us on, man. I don't know what truth there is, but I heard from a reliable source, a parent, that it's a skin that goes over the
Yeah,
helmet of
it's a
some
new
sort.
technology. Yeah.
It's some new, yeah. And it sounds like the word on the street is those showed up like, 10 a.m. in the morning, the
Mhm.
day before the game. They didn't even know that they were going to get them in time.
Yep.
So thanks to UPS or FedEx or the Postal Service, whoever got them to us in time.
Yep.
Sounded like they were delayed for reasons. And I'm really glad we got to wear them because, the night just wouldn't have been the same if we didn't have the black helmets.
Yeah. And
our blackout went well. I mean,
Yep.
let's give everybody credit. Thanks everybody for pitching in and doing your part. I mean, I wore, and maybe I've kind of kept this under wraps, Matt, because I'm a jinx guy a little bit. I don't like to jinx things. And between you, me, and the wall, I had full intentions of wearing my bib overall Carhartts because they're black, and I was going to wear them the whole time because guess who the last team we beat when I was wearing those bib overalls was?
No idea.
Montana State. I wore them in the Montana State
yeah. Oh yeah,
game.
duh. Yeah,
So,
of course. Yep.
so obviously I was gonna wear them again, given the choice. They're my lucky bib overalls, apparently.
Yep.
And same result. So
yeah,
a little different score, but that's a really good team. That's a really good team.
Gosh, cool. Huh.
Oh wow, we're getting some comments that are going on.
I don't Jim, what do you mean? I wonder where Matt found his t-shirt. The one my JI t-shirt from yesterday. Oh wow. Yeah. So yeah, Jim, thank you. We have a new store available for Jackrabbit Illustrated merchandise. People were asking. Jim, thank you for wearing your hat and supporting us. Yeah, so just
Jay Mitzner was wearing JI gear as well. We saw a lot of JI gear.
Yeah, all the flags flying. That's still, folks, that means a ton. When you guys fly the flags, wear our merch, whatever. It's just weird. It's something my son pointed out. So thank you. Really appreciate it. Go to jackrabbitillustrated.com and click store. That'll take you to our new store where the quality of clothing is much better than last year. And that's why we made the switch to a different vendor. That's someone local here in Appleton, Minnesota. So, yeah.
I saw the Beef Bowl folks were giving away shirts. I think black shirts. So that was pretty cool.
They've done that for a couple of years now. Beef Bowl's been black shirts in the back.
Yeah. I think that's why we did blackout this game. So I think that's a trend we're going to see going forward. So folks out there that are fuddy-duddies and our team wears yellow and blue because those are school colors. Well, that's cool. I'm not necessarily disagreeing, but it's a team effort. And if the team says wear black, like literally we had coach saying wear black, we had team members saying black. Just be part of the team. Wear black.
Let's do our 111th.
Yeah, we'll do our 111th. There you go.
Yeah.
And just wear black. I'm sure Coach Stig was wearing black. I think in that picture he was, but I can't recall off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So if he can wear black, being the biggest fan of the yellow and blue, I'm sure you can too. So, we got a couple more color games coming up. Follow that chart. We'll probably throw that up again here in the future. Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah. Ron and Jabari, get along in the comments on YouTube.
Come on, guys.
Yeah. Come on here. All right. Enough of that. All right. So let's go around the Valley. Let's talk about Valley games. And going around the Valley here, this is going to be sponsored by Jackrabbit Central. Again, went into the student union location of Jackrabbit Central and picked up a hoodie for my son, a little football, a Jackrabbit football that we could mess around with. And honestly, gosh, their selection of stuff is really cool. I picked up some a championship merch shirt that I hadn't yet, and got that for really pretty reasonable. So that was neat. Next time I go back, I might get a polo for work, I'm thinking. So just to wear at the office. So again, you can go online. Touchdown Tuesday won't be quite as good of deals this week as last week, but I'm guessing after Drake, there's going to be some pretty good deals at jackrabbitcentral.com. So 3 locations, the stadium store, the student union store, the downtown store, which I'm not sure if that's open yet or not, or jackrabbitcentral.com. You can get your orders placed for that.
And I'll tell you one thing about their stuff is there's nowhere you're going to find better quality gear. Yeah. All their stuff is absolutely top notch. You won't find it better anywhere else. So thanks to Jackrabbit Central for the sponsorship. We love your stuff. And we're going to go around the Valley. Yeah. So first up, we got NDSU versus Maine. Matt, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, again, NDSU started really slow again. It was 9-0. They were settling for field goals. Interesting. It looks like they went okay passing the ball. Obviously, they still put up 44 points, so that's huge for them. Running the ball, I think their top two rushers were Cam and Cole again, so they're gonna really run Cole Payton this year. Like that's what he's brought into the game to do.
Kind of the Sean Chambers, if you will.
He looks like Sean Chambers, right? So they let him throw the ball a little bit too this week.
Well, you like it when he throws it to our guys, like
right. So he was 3 for 5 for 40 yards. For him, Cam Miller actually was 14 and 19 for 152. So both of those, like that's pretty good. I'd take that. But yeah, Cole Payton was their leading rusher, 8 carries, 102 yards, 2 TDs, and then Cam had two touchdowns as well. TK and Tamarick only had 11 carries combined. So really an interesting game. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. It just doesn't. It
feels like they're struggling to find their identity a bit.
Yeah, but they scored 44 points again. So either Maine is just awful, or again they didn't have the horses to kind of keep going. So really interesting.
It could be a combination of these things too.
Yeah. Yep.
After that, we have North Dakota went down and took care of business with NAU. Or excuse me, that was up at the Alaris Center.
Yeah, it was Alaris again.
People don't come out of the Alaris Center with wins. So one of the other Jacks got beaten by the effing Hawks. And I don't know what else to say about that, but get your tickets to the UND game tomorrow. Get them now. Go online.
Get them soon. Go now. Honestly, North Dakota, like – Tommy Schuster looks good again this year, 21 for 30, just efficient. He's always been efficient, but he looks good. I don't know what else to say again. Tommy Schuster's in command of that offense. He has such a good connection with Bo Belquist. Yeah, and their defense obviously isn't playing awful either so far. So
to me, Schuster's always seemed to have that Brett Favre-ness, the gamer. He's just a gamer, and he just makes it happen. So he's fun to watch. Honestly, he's quite fun to watch behind the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
And then looks like Illinois State took care of Western Illinois for one last time. So Brock Spack's team looking good.
Yep. Yeah. Again, Zach Annexted, not crazy numbers, but they have a nice 1-2 punch at running back this year. And their defense is probably better than I expected. Honestly, their defense lost some dudes and they've played well through 2 games. So.
Yep. And the one that it's just the surprise to me this week is Weber State versus UNI. And I don't know what to make of UNI, Matt. What do you think about what they're showing so far? Because it seems like their O-line's a sieve and they just let anyone through. It's kind of like the southern border. And
Chad, we don't do politics on this show.
Sorry. But poor quarterback can't get any balls out if the guys are in his face all the time. So
5 sacks on Theoday through 3 interceptions again. That offensive line is just not good. They're not running the ball. They had 46 total rushing yards. And so I know Zach is saying here eventually Theoday has to live up to the hype, but if he's not a mobile quarterback, we do know that. And if he's just getting smacked in the mouth every play, that's just not good because they've had such a good offensive line now for so long that losing Ryan Clanty or whatever his name was to Iowa State, their offensive line coach, I think that's a huge, huge loss. He may have moved on at the right time though too, knowing how many seniors they lost last year and that he was going to have to kind of build this offensive line back from the ground up. But gosh, again, why not put UNI's back against the wall right away to start the season? Just stupid.
It's just like Austin saying here, you can sure count on UNI absolutely needing a win come Hobo Day. And Corey Caraway also hits the nail on the head. Seems like UNI always starts the conference in 1-4, and then they have to win out to just make the playoffs. So those are very astute comments that are spot on. Missouri State, they just lost. So
they got ran all over. So UT Martin just ran the ball down their throat. 200 and some yards rushing, I think, 259 rushing yards. And so, Missouri State, we had a good second half, put up 24 points in the second half, but just wasn't enough. They kind of dug themselves in a hole. We're down 24-7 at halftime. So it's tough to win games that way. And they're still looking for an identity too, I think. But who knows? I think by that point in the season, when we play them in November, they're likely going to be out of the playoff hunt. And if we know anything about Missouri State, they'll roll over and play dead, right? So,
right.
Yeah.
It's looking more and more like the Missouri Valley is going to be a 2-team league.
I
hate to say that. A 2-team in the playoffs is what I mean.
No, Chad, we got to talk about SIU still.
Oh, geez, I forgot about SIU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Southern Illinois, man,
not on here.
over Northern Illinois, got that FBS pelt. Awesome game there, 14-11. Now, I am pretty dang impressed with Southern Illinois right now because, obviously getting this win, but then they beat Austin Peay right last week, pretty good. Pretty well. Austin Peay held in there with Tennessee, so kind of interesting. Southern Illinois' defense, like that's always been their issue, and to allow just 11 points to an FBS opponent, what the heck's going on, Chad? What's going on?
But is it going to be like last year where they looked like all-stars at the beginning of the year and then come the end of the year, they fell apart?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Definitely they got a quarterback, right?
Baker's good.
Yep. Stud. But yeah. And I can't believe I forgot him. Sorry. Austin called me out too. So forgot about the sock lookies. How can you forget the sock lookies?
And the other two games we didn't go over were Missouri State and Indiana State getting rocked by FBS opponents. And that's no big deal, Chad. Don't worry about that because they suck. I've never said a team sucks before. I feel kind of bad about that. Sorry, Murray State and Indiana State.
Maybe it is just the mid to bottom of our league is really going to suffer this year. Garrett Meyer thinks that SIU and UND both will make the playoffs.
I think so. I mean, I think those are 4 good teams. And we're 2 weeks in. But to me, like those 4 are really good games. So, yeah. Stone sounds
okay. Yeah. So, I don't know. We don't have much more to say about Drake. Do we get there early and enjoy the party?
Is that, the big thing, honestly, I want to get there, get up big like we did against Western Oregon and get our guys out of there. I don't love this idea of playing on the baseball field. We don't want anyone to get hurt, right? So let's get Isaiah some carries, Amar some carries, the Yankees, a couple catches, whatever. Mark, let's get it in there, get some points, and get the heck out. We don't need any injuries. Ugh.
I do like Brian Sturrid's comment here. He says, so I got back from the game today, and my family decided to put Ben's Casey breakfast pizza to the test. He says, the sausage gravy is legit, which I agree. And like him, I say, however, I think it's the Montana State version of breakfast pizzas. It's a close second, but the cheese sauce is still the best. So, yeah, I'm with you, Brian. You got that right, bud. It's good as an alternative every once in a while,
Brian, that's good. I like that. Thank you for saying
the B team does watch this from time to time, so yeah, you're gonna get some pushback.
There's Ben. Ben's here. All right.
For tonight, yeah.
Yeah. All right. You're wrong, Brian. All right. USD. We didn't talk about USD either. Jeez.
Yeah, we didn't talk about USD,
Thanks, Damon.
which didn't look good going into half, did it?
Yeah.
But then they played a crazy good second half, apparently. So, I mean, I only just caught the scores. I didn't catch the box score. What do you have for us there, Matt?
So it just kind of sounds like, from what I've read at least, they finally were able to rush the ball a little bit in the second half. Borg talked about Nate Thomas having some explosive runs. Bauman finally got going a little bit. But again, it's the same issue USD's had since they came to Division I, and they have no offensive line. It's shocking year after year after year. And it is bedtime, Jim. You're right.
Yeah.
Or no, Dustin.
This thing's squarely in garage time at this point, I think.
Hey, we got to pick players quick, Chad.
Yeah, we do.
That's all right. So We don't have Dallas. We can just give Dallas whoever. All right.
He's good with that. I assure you.
Yeah. Offense, I'm going Chase Mason.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I like that pick for reasons. I was thinking about picking QB1, but now that you bring that up, I'd like to see. I don't know. I'd like to see our number 3 running back. That's who I want to get.
Oh, you're going Angel. Okay, so we got some Viberg Hurley boys there. All right,
let's do it, bud.
All right, defense, you can go first.
You know, it's kind of a cop out to give it to the Mike linebacker all the time, but I think still that's where we're going to land. I think Savion's going to play quite a bit of the game, being in his home state, being just not that far from where he calls home, and I'm going to go with Save.
Okay. I don't know how much he's going to play, but I'm going again. Savion. No, I'm just saying for my guy.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he'll play at all. So this is a total risk here. This would be like, I don't know odds. It'd be long shot odds here. I'm going Bryce Hawthorne at defensive tackle from up there in the city.
That's a good call.
This could be a game that he wrecks some stuff up there. So we'll see.
Jim Poppins says the law firm.
Spalding, right?
Spalding.
Yeah.
That's who I think he's talking about, right?
Or no, yeah. All right. Score, Chad, what are we thinking?
Ooh, this is not going to be pretty. I'm liking it to the NDSU main score, something in that range of 40-something. But I think if we talk about it tomorrow night, we're probably going to call this a 50 butter. So I want to say we get up above 50 points, and the opponent might get 7.
All right, 50-something to 7. I'm saying 52-7. That's my prediction.
I mean, that falls in line with what I said. So
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go with that. Jim Poppin thinks we're only scoring 42 points,
all right,
which is possible.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't get quite the 50 butter on our first game.
Yep.
Helton's on. Hey, bud, you made it on. He says 55-3.
So. Yeah. All right, everyone. Again, thank you. Thanks to everyone that we met this weekend that came to say hi. Thanks to the crowd that showed up for the game. That was freaking awesome. And everyone that's been here tonight. I don't know. You guys can see the individual numbers on the different channels, but we were in the 130s for a while on live with us tonight, which is just ridiculous. So
we appreciate all you coming and watching. It does mean a lot to us. We try and share all of our inside thoughts and information. Keep coming out. Keep spreading the word. You know, the more people that show up, the better we can make this. So it's awesome.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. Go big. Go blue.
Go Jacks.